Respond to a situation. In this task, PT gives you a scenario. In less than 30 seconds, you have to understand it. Then you have to speak for that situation for 40 seconds. So you have to think that as if you are in that moment. There is no script, no standard template, no excessive preparation time, just reaction. Most students read the situation and they get panic and say something generic that scores nothing. I scored 19 speaking using a 6-letter method called SIMPLE. It tells you exactly what to say in what order every single time. Let me show you how it works with a real question example.
You booked a meeting room at the library from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. to work on a group project. Now it's just after 2 p.m. and your classmates will arrive soon, but some other students are sitting in the meeting room. What would you say to them?
Hey, hi. I booked this meeting room from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. in this library building. The purpose of booking the room was to discuss a group project with my classmates or batchmates. Now it's already 2 p.m. and you guys are occupying this room, and my college classmates, the batchmates, can come anytime here. So I request you to vacate this room. If you want, you can occupy another room in the same campus. There are a lot of rooms available. I hope you understand this. Thank you so much. Bye. So before teaching you anything, I would like to show my score report. This is my full name, this is my PT ID, and then I'll go to my activity. In my activity, you can see this particular thing. August 7, 2025, 8 a.m. So this is the day when PT got completely, I think it changed a lot in the speaking part. So I went to the test to get a maximum score in speaking, rather to experiment whether my strategies, tips, templates, everything works or not. They work or not. So let's see the score report. So the attempt was specifically for getting maximum score in speaking, right? So since speaking score was 90, listening score was 90, I was not focusing on reading or writing, but I've done my experiments. What I wanted to experiment, I experimented. I'm happy about it, right? So 90. So when I got 90, then I'm teaching you. It's not in the old test, it is in the new test format. I got 90. So you can see the weightage now. Content score is 5 on 6, oral fluency is 4 on the scale of 5, and pronunciation is 4 on the scale of 5. Now, what was the question? You booked a meeting room at the library from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. to work on a group project. Now it's already 2 p.m. and your classmates will arrive soon, but some other students are occupying that room. And what would you say to them? This was the situation. Now, for the situation, whatever I've spoken, if I gave very decent, relevant answer and sufficient answer, that's why the content score is 5. Oral fluency 4 on 5, pronunciation 4 on 5. So you can rewatch this answer. Now we will look at the unique feature of our portal, which gives you the feedback like a trainer, right? It's not just numbers. These numbers you will find in every PT site, but this one gives you a proper feedback like a trainer. All right, we have developed the system to give you comprehensive feedback. You effectively addressed the situation by stating, I booked this meeting room from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., which clearly indicates your claim to be, your claim to the room. Perfect. So this is appreciating the first point. You also mentioned the purpose for the booking, or purpose of the booking. So it is there, which was to discuss the project. So it is again a complete answer. That's what it says. However, you could have improved your response by including suggestions for how the other student could find an alternative room, which I did, rather than just saying you can occupy other room. So it is asking me to do so much, but it's fine. I think 5 if I'm getting on 6, it is decent because we have tuned our practice portal to supply 10 to 15% lesser marks than the real examination, right? So that's what the tuning is all about. So fine. So content is absolutely good, nice. Then you have what? Oral fluency was good, but there was a slight hesitation before you said, so I request you to vacate this room. See, it is catching all the slightest hesitations. Now, Guys, if you have this kind of a portal with you, you will be able to improve your PTE skills faster than ever, right? Because every time you're just looking at numbers and going to the next question, you're practicing. Now, if you have this much comprehensive, sensible, spontaneous feedback, you will definitely improve better. So to improve, try practicing smoother transitions, all these things it says. So pronunciation feedback, most of the words were clear, but the phrase like batchmates could be pronounced more distinctly. It says I could have pronounced the word batchmates more better. So that's what it says. I'll take it as a feedback because classmate, batchmate, these are all common words in the response situation and also in the summarized group discussion. So it makes sense for me to pronounce these words more carefully next time. So it sounded a bit rushed. Focus on stressing the first syllabus, batchmates. Okay, so here it is giving the improvement suggestions, everything. So this is kind of feedback you get in my portal. So if you want to have one free mock test, I'm giving you the scanner. You just scan and go register, take it. So respond to a situation. Let's work on this task. Only discuss what matters to the score. Okay. So this was added to the PT academic exam in the month of August 2025. Earlier, it was never a part of the PT academic test. Of course, it was there in PT core, but it was never ever part of the PT academic test. So task overview, how it looks basically. So here, I'm sure you have seen it in the sample answers that I gave. So no need to discuss that. Let's move ahead. And why it matters to you, why you should actually work on a response situation. So number of questions in the examination will be what? 2 to 3 questions. When do you get it? It is going to come at the end of your speaking module. So when you are read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, read a lecture, answer short questions, summarize group discussion. At last, when you finish everything, that is when you are going to get this task, which is called respond to a situation. 2 to 3 questions, 2 to 3 times it comes in the test. Speaking weightage, how much? 8 to 12 marks. So that means uh, every correct answer gets you 4 marks in speaking, right? And if there are 3 questions, 12 marks. So that means again, same thing, 2 or 3 questions will be there in the exam. The speaking is for 90 and the weightage of this task is 8 to 12 marks. So around 10 marks, you can think that way. So basically, this task is all about imagining and speaking. You have to imagine and you have to speak. You will be given a situation. You have to think that you are in that situation and then you have to start speaking according to that situation. Okay, that's what this task all about. I keep telling you about this task. What is it? IAS. Imagine and speak. That's what this task all about. All right. So first thing, it supplies you only speaking score. Second thing, you don't have to speak for all 40 seconds. Even if you speak for around 35 seconds, you still get maximum marks if every element is taken care. And the third thing is what? A relevant and sufficient answer with good fluency is necessary. So these are the 3 things which are necessary for getting score and respond to a situation, right? So the respond to a situation can happen between what? A student to student, right? Or a student to a faculty member, staff member of the university, or an admin of the university. So it is what? Student versus student. Or it can be what? Student versus faculty or college or university employees. So it can happen both ways. So who are student versus college employees? Professors, course coordinators, office security, library, housing office, anyone, facilities office, anything basically, right? And student to student, maybe you will have to speak to your classmate, your batchmate, your college mate, right? Anybody, junior students, senior students, whatever. So these are the situations. So how do you do well in the respond to a situation? I'll explain you. So there is a method called simple method, right? I'm going to explain you. Please pay attention, guys. This is going to make your respond to a situation answer super duper simple. In simple, S stands for what? Saying hi, hello, how are you doing? A greeting, basically. What is it? Greeting. S stands for what? Greeting. So your answer structure is simple. In that, S stands for greeting. Say hi, hello, or starting the conversation. I means you have to introduce the topic. What is the topic here? If you see your project due next Tuesday, but you were ill with a viral fever last week and won't finish it on time, ask your professor for an extension until next Friday. So, what is the topic here? Your project is due, right? Last week is what the matter, the topic, basically, right? And then M stands for mentioning the problem. Now, what is the problem you faced? The actual problem you faced is this viral fever, isn't it? God forbid, viral fever. So you mention what? Down with viral fever. So you say what? I was down with viral fever. So that's the reason why I was unable to finish my project in time. Something like that. Okay. And then P stands for what? Politely asking. Politely asking is what? With your permission, could you please give me permission to submit the project next Friday? Okay, until next Friday. Could you please provide me, what you call your permission to submit the project next Friday? So you are asking what? Politely you are asking, right? So if it's a friend, you can still ask politely. That's not a problem. So it's if it's friend, you don't have to change your language completely, not necessary. So L in the list of SIMPLE is not mandatory. So you using L is fine. You not using L is also absolutely fine. If you have observed my answer, which started in the beginning of the video, first I gave an answer, right, before starting the video. In that answer, I said I wanted the other students to vacate the room that they occupied, right, which was booked by me, right. So along with asking them, could you vacate the room, I also gave them options. What option I gave them? There are other rooms in the same complex, empty. They are not occupied by anybody. You want, you can go and occupy them. So this is something you are laying an option, right? So this laying an option, I'm not saying it is mandatory. So if you can do it at that point of time when you're delivering the answer, you do it. Otherwise, absolutely okay. No, not an issue. It is not mandatory. Last E, you can guess what is it? E is what end it. Since you started it, it has to end also. So what is it? May I proceed with this plan for this particular thing? Thank you so much, Professor, in advance. I highly appreciate your response, something like that. Okay. Or kindly let me know a finisher. Okay. So simple process you follow. So some people say this is a very easy task. I think I'm very spontaneous. I'll be able to do it without using this SIMPLE structure. Valid point. Super valid point. But when you don't have a structure with you, what happens is every time you may not have that consistent flow. Agree? Right? Why you have to follow a process? Maybe I'm not asking you to follow my SIMPLE simple process. If you have a process, you follow that process. What is the reason for that? If you follow that process, basically, right? Every time you have a consistency in your answer. But if there is no process you're following, what happens is sometimes the oral fluency happens, sometimes it does not happen, which is problematic for any student. Yes, sir. The content sometimes quality is good, sometimes the content quality is bad, which is not desired, right? So that's why we always follow a structure. The winners, uh, consistent performance always want a structure. So that's why I'm giving you this simple structure, sir. So type in the comment box if you like this simple structure or not. So guys, this particular structure, simple structure, I invented before I took the PTE test, right? On the first day of the first new version of PTE test, I sat the test and I tested it and I got a 90 from myself. Then only I'm teaching. So this method is something nothing I teach you theoretically, everything is practical, right? So this is something I tested. I've got a 90 in the speaking in the new test. I've answered, respond to a situation in the same manner, no difference. Simple steps to answer what you have to do. Now coming to the steps. Step 1, read, listen the question to understand the situation. So if you observed, if any question is there, let me show you one more question. You will get to read the situation. You will get to listen also. Both.
You're working on an essay for your course and you're having difficulty organizing your ideas. You approach your professor after class and ask her if you could come to her office to discuss your essay. What do you say to her?
I heard it. I read it. I have 10 seconds time. A lot of time I have, basically. Right. Working on essays topic. Hello, Professor. How are you doing? I hope I'm not disturbing you. I'm sure you know that I'm working on an essay for my course, but I have difficulty in putting together the ideas of, giving my ideas a proper structure and organization. So I felt I would ask you, I would take your help in this matter. Could you please help me structuring my essay ideas better, Professor? I would meet you after the class in your office. Thank you, Professor, in advance. The help will be highly appreciated. Done like this. So you will get to read it, listen to it. Right. I've done one more answer. Let's see what is the feedback that computer is giving. So again, the answer is since I'm following the same structure, I think more or less the structure is same. So it is giving the same marks, right? Consistency is maintained. So then it is giving, you mentioned I have difficulty in putting together ideas, which is relevant to the prompt about discussing your essay with the professor. However, you could have added specific question about the topic mentioned, particular aspects. So something like this keeps giving feedback. Of course, we can make use of this feedback. So some hesitations were there and all, it says. So this is going to be excellent if you are taking the test and if you want some kind of a hand holding while you're practicing. When you feel, so when you answer a question, there is some number coming on the screen. Okay, on 16 I got some 13. On 16 I got some 12. On 16 I got some 10. So it is only giving you single signal number. Okay, not okay. Green, red, yellow signals it is giving. So that signals are not sufficient always. But if you have a feedback like this, it's like, somebody is talking to you, you are not alone, you feel, right? So that's what the beauty of this feature in our site. There is no site in the world that right now gives you feedback like this. So step 1, I explained you. In fact, step 2, step 3 also I've explained you. Step 1, read. You will get to read, sir, because when this question comes on the screen, after 7-8 seconds only, around 10 seconds after question is coming on the screen, after 7-8 seconds at least, the same question is getting read for you to listen.
You're working on an essay for your course and you're having difficulty organizing your ideas. You approach your professor after class and ask her if you could come to her office to discuss your essay. What do you say to her?
Right. So you have some 7-8 seconds of reading. Then the reader of the question will read it for another 7-8 seconds, right? So 15 seconds. That 15 seconds and the 10 seconds of preparation time, you have almost what? 25-30 seconds time for getting ready for one question. Yes or no? The calculation part, right? Okay. So this is done. Then you have 10 seconds of preparation time. Relax and get ready in 10 seconds. Don't try to do many things. And then once recording starts, follow the structure that I gave you. What is it? Simple. SIMPLE. Say S stands for what? Say hi, hello, start the conversation. I stands for what? Introduce the topic. M stands for mention the problem. P stands for politely ask or politely request. L stands for laying an option. E stands for what? End the discussion with the thanks or with some ending thing. So this is what you have to do. Now I'll explain you the criteria. What are there in this basically? You please see content. Content is nothing but as a test taker, as a student, are you able to Give an answer relevantly, sufficiently. Relevantly means this was about an essay organization. Yes or no? Organizing the essay was your pain point. You have to talk about it. So instead of saying essay, if you say my project, if you say my some other sport activity, that's not relevant. Yes or no? The answer has to be relevant. You have to speak for the question. Number one. Number two, your speech should be sufficient also. If I say, Professor, I have problem with my essay. Can you help me? I'll come after the class. Your answer is relevant, no doubt, but it is not sufficient. Yes. So always the answer has to be what? Relevant and sufficient. Oral fluency. What is oral fluency? Can you deliver the answer in a smooth manner or not? Smoothly or not? Smoothly means what? Without many hesitations, without many pauses. You see, look at the oral fluency feedback. There were some hesitations. See, particularly phrases like I would take your help in this matter was slightly disrupted flow. There, I think I've paused. So this smart thing tells you everything, right? I mean, you will improve in immense manner, right? Oral fluency is what? Try to deliver it smoothly. So since this is little what you call impromptu thing, impromptu kind of thing, you don't have sufficient time, and in real life, nobody, you never act this fast, right? So there is a possibility of some fillers and pauses. Don't worry about it. As you practice, they go off, right? So pronunciation is your pronunciation clear or not? Is your pronunciation clear or not? That's what PT checks. It never expects you to be speaking in the UK accent or US accent, right? So these are the skills.